In case you don't know, someone from the League of Legends community decided to start a petition demanding the immediate removal of Riot Games CEO Jadeja. It has almost 12,000 signatures. It might not seem like much, but earlier today it had 6,000, so maybe in a week or so it will have 50,000. We'll see. I'm gonna check that out at that point. Now I want to go through this manifesto, which is the issue, and see exactly what people are signing the petition for. And let's actually go through it. For years, League of Legends has been one of the biggest and most beloved games in the world. But under the leadership of Jadeja, the game has been going downhill at an unprecedented rate. Riot Games has made decision after decision that prioritizes profits over player experience, and the community is tired of being ignored and treated like complete idiots who they only see as numbers to get money from. Here is a list of events that have happened underneath his leadership starting at September 22nd, 2023. Eliminated about 530 roles globally, which represented around 11% of the workforce, with the biggest impact to teams outside of core development. Up to $500 immortalized legendary FOMO skin. That's fear of missing out, in case you don't know. I'm familiar with that. Good thing I'm not an Ari main. Alright. 27 more layoffs from its league team and 5 further redundancies from its publishing side, totaling 32 employees. Arcane was forced into the league lore rather than be its own separate thing. Having one consistent lore throughout everything is much better than having two separate things. Whenever they are going to release the Riot MMO, which lore are they going to follow? The League of Legends lore or the Arcane lore? Of course, the one in which they invested more, the Arcane lore. They worked on Arcane for many years, and they thought about more storylines than what you see in Arcane. That's also the reason why they are committed to consistency throughout everything they release. And sure, you could say that's not gonna last, and if that happens and they retcon something, I will criticize them for it. By making everything consistent, they are also creating and investing into an ecosystem where people who watch Arcane will be interested probably in the lore which is presented through biographies and short stories, and if those are not consistent with what they see in Arcane, they are simply going to lose interest. And the same goes if they try the Riot MMO. If they see that the lore is not consistent, again, they lose interest. And don't worry, I'm not an only Arcane viewer. I made my account in 2014, and whenever my classmate kept telling me that Jax is using a lantern because he's so skilled he wants to give everyone else a chance, I thought it was pretty cool. I thought the game was boring, but the stories were interesting to me, and whenever I was playing different characters, I made sure to also read their lore. Even with that being true, my enjoyment of reading the League lore, I still believe making everything consistent with Arcane is still a good thing. I understand that certain communities are disappointed with the changes which were made to their favorite characters in terms of lore. I cannot speak on the gameplay side. But on the other hand, you have other characters who were completely changed, but their story is improved. For example, Jinx. Her biography was changed to be consistent with the Arcane lore, and you should go back and compare the old biography with the new one and see the differences. It is an improvement. Besides that, we have the most one-dimensional character I've ever seen in my entire life. Just go back and read Vi's biography and listen to her lines of dialogue in League of Legends. And Vi stands for violence, something like that. Arcane was an insane improvement to that character. Ultimately, the scope of the lore of Frontera is much bigger than one or two characters, so we'll see what's going to happen in the future and whenever they are going to release 1 or 2 or 3 more shows, and maybe people are not going to complain about that anymore. No free skins during the height of Arcane Season 2, instead more gachas. That's not entirely true. They gave a skin for Singed. You could say, only a skin? It was free. If you played Jinx Fixes Everything for 3 weeks, then you got a skin. So it's not, as I said, entirely true. $250 scam, exalted Jinx skin, another exalted skin, for set this time, then Noxus Battle Pass, lackluster skins, removal of hextech chests, removal of honor capsules and orbs, and another $250 scam, exalted Mordekaiser lore skin. Okay, but the Jinx one is also a lore skin. Just saying. Lots of LCS changes that are better explained in this website. I'm not gonna click on that. With these changes, it clearly shows how the upper heads at Riot value squeezing money out of players instead of giving us content worth paying for. It's not an oops, this change wasn't what we expected, so let's learn from our mistake and do better next time thing. This is a clear cut and dry change to force players who have mostly or always been free to play to cough up some cash to Riot. What do you mean force players? You are the one making the decisions to spend money. They've even upped the amount of outside contractors in order to save money. I mean, they've always done that, and it's not necessarily a bad thing, considering how the entire art from Legends of Frontera is outsourced, and it's actually good art. The skins they release don't even feel like they are worth the price they are sold at. The skins are not worth anything. It's a digital item. At some point, at this rate, we will be forced to pay in order to play, eventually, or not be able to play at all. Who knows? That's not going to happen. This needs to change. We don't want our game flooded with scummy gacha systems and systems that only value the whales of the industry and puts the casual players/payers out to dry. Okay, this is something I 100% agree with. I would even add extremely scummy gacha. At this point, it's clear that League of Legends needs new leadership. The game is losing the identity that made it special, and the CEO priorities do not align with the player base. If Riot truly cares about the future of League, then it's time for a change at the top. By signing this petition, you are standing with the community in demanding that Riot Games replace Jadeja with someone who actually understands what League of Legends should be. Let's save our game before it's too late. This game deserves better, the players deserve better, and especially the hard-working people at Riot deserve better. This petition isn't just to get hextech chests back or to get loot back for free. It's about the integrity of the game and how it's being misused. We aren't some piggy bank, we are people who take the time out of our day to play this game and interact with its players. Of course, it would be nice to revert the chest and loot changes, but those are secondary to what really needs to happen. I understand the sheer magnitude of events that would have to happen in order for something this grand to come true. I guarantee that there are plenty of Riot employees who are fed up with how their game is being treated by corporate middlings. Imagine working years and years in order to get good enough to work at the Riot Games, and then years later, tons of your fellow friends, co-workers, are being fired so that the company could save money and continue to be greedy. I want this petition to show the rioters that we are on their side, and we want to empower them to do what they need to do in order to make things right. Even if it isn't directly the CEO making all of these decisions, he is still the one with the highest position, and with this game having the lowest reputation in its entire existence as of right now, it's on him to fix it. Unfortunately, with the pattern of more and more free options being taken away, they clearly do not intend to stop unless we stand together and fight back. Please sign and share if you agree. Also, do not feel pressured to support it financially unless you are 100% sure. Please let me know if I missed any big change and I will make adjustments. Okay, Sam G. Bunch of supporters. Even a video apparently. Okay guys, you can hate me for saying this, but you can play the game without spending a single dollar. League of Legends is free to play. Sure, the user experience is much better if you have hextech chests. I loved hextech chests, and if they add them back, it would be a massive improvement to the experience. But as it is right now, you can play the game for free. I'm not against this petition. I am totally for people expressing their distaste or dissatisfaction with certain things. I can also be realistic and tell you that this is not going to change anything. Do you know what's going to get their attention? Maybe if this petition gets a considerable amount of signatures, coupled with people who stop playing the game and stop spending money on the game for a prolonged period of time. You cannot expect them to give in after one day, because if they do that, they will set a precedent where people will know, oh, we boycotted the game for one day and then they gave us back the hextech chest. And in case you're wondering what I'm referencing, on the 28th, people are going to boycott Riot Games by not playing League of Legends for one day. Don't worry, I'm not going to play League of Legends. I will play Skyrim and TFT on stream, on Twitch.